Some houses are more than just four walls. Some whisper with the voices of those who vanished inside, and some guests never leave. Jake and his friends, Jake, Lily, Noah, and Sophia, rent a ridiculously cheap yet luxurious Airbnb mansion for a weekend getaway, far from the city in a remote wooded area. The old but impressive house, with its high ceilings, wooden floors, and large windows, feels enchanting at first. When booking, the host has one strict rule. The master bedroom is locked and must not be used. The group chalks it up to the host, Henry, wanting to protect personal belongings and doesn't think much of it. Henry's profile shows only a silhouette photo, but it doesn't raise any red flags. The first day goes smoothly. Barbecue, a short hike in the woods, snapping pics of the house's vintage charm. But as night falls, things take a turn. Jake hears rhythmic footsteps from upstairs. Tap, tap, tap. The sound echoes clearly on the wooden floor. It's just the old house settling? He shrugs it off. But when Lily says she hears it too, unease creeps in. Noah volunteers. "There's no one else here but us, I'll check it out," and heads upstairs. All he finds is a cold, empty hallway and the locked master bedroom door. The noises stop later that night, but a weird vibe lingers. The next morning, Sophia steps into the bathroom and freezes. Carved into the wall with a knife are the words, "You shouldn't have come back." The letters are deep and jagged, like they were scratched in a fit of rage. She screams, calling the others. They try to brush it off as a prank, but the realization hits. They're alone in the house. Noah mumbles. Maybe it's from a past guest, but his shaky voice betrays him. They message Henry right away. "Weird stuff's happening here. Please explain." Hours pass with no reply. The phone signal starts fading in the middle of the forest. Not surprising, but it ramps up the tension. That night, the footsteps get louder. They're not just from upstairs anymore. They're coming from the hallway. Jake snaps. Enough's enough, and decides to break into the locked room. Lily protests, but the group's nerves are shot. Noah grabs a screwdriver and pries the lock open. The door creaks as it swings wide, releasing a dusty, musty stench. Inside, there's an old, torn mattress, yellowed newspapers scattered on the floor, and cobwebs in the corners. One newspaper catches their eye. A 2018 clipping reads, "Missing Airbnb guest still not found." It doesn't mention this house, but the date and location make them uneasy. Then they see it. A framed photo on the wall next to the bed. An old Airbnb profile picture of a young man with a faint smile. Handwritten below, "The last guest to rent this room." Right then, a rusty chain behind the door starts swaying, on its own with no breeze. Reeling from the discovery, Sophia spots a narrow staircase leading to the attic. "Maybe that's where the sounds are coming from," she says, curiosity overriding fear. Jake and Noah follow her up, while Lily stays downstairs. What they find in the attic is horrifying. Piles of human bones on the dusty floor, rusty chains, and countless scratches carved into the walls, like someone was counting days. Among the bones, they find an old wallet with a faded ID inside. It reads Henry Grayson, but the photo is blurry, and the date goes back to the 1940s. They exchange panicked looks. "Isn't that our host, Henry?" A scream from Lily downstairs snaps them out of it. They rush down to find her trembling, pointing at the door. "I saw someone outside. A tall man," she stammers. "That's it, they're done." They start grabbing their stuff to leave, but the power cuts out, leaving them with just their phone flashlights. As they head for the door, a figure blocks the entrance. A tall, gaunt man, Henry the host. He's holding a rusty knife, his face locked in an eerie, lifeless grin. "You shouldn't have come back," he says, echoing the words on the wall. Screaming, the group scatters. Henry moves after them with slow, deliberate steps. They bolt into the woods, but Jake trips and Henry closes in. In a flash, Henry pulls an old pistol from his pocket and shoots. The bullet grazes Jake's shoulder. He collapses and Henry grabs him, dragging him back toward the house. Lily, Noah, and Sophia hear Jake's yells as they keep running, but Henry's still on their tail. Finally, they reach a spot with enough signal to call the police. Hours later, cops swarm the area, but what they find flips everything upside down. There's no Airbnb here. The house is a ruin, roof caved in, walls crumbling. According to police records, it's been abandoned since 1950. Then the bombshell. Henry Grayson was a serial killer who murdered dozens in that house in the 1940s and was executed in 1950. The bones in the attic? His victims. The police search for Jake, but he's gone, vanished like the house swallowed him whole. Lily, Noah, and Sophia tell their story, but no one fully buys it. There's no record of the rental on Airbnb. The house never existed on the platform. Still, Sophia can't shake that night. As they fled through the forest, she swore she saw Henry's glassy smile again in the trees. A man long dead. Or maybe not. Do you think Henry's spirit might still be wandering around? Let me know in the comments. Mark and Olivia, along with Ryan and Emily, two young couples, rent a stunning Airbnb mountain cabin for a month-long escape from the city. Nestled on a mountainside amid pine forests, the house is a gem. Vast glass windows frame endless mountain views. A sleek fireplace warms the open-plan living room. A private hot tub promises relaxation under the stars, and its wood and stone design blends modern flair with rustic charm. On the Airbnb listing, amid 5-star reviews, there's one odd note. Don't open the downstairs door after midnight. The couples laugh it off as the host's quirky obsession. The first week feels like a fairy tale. They sip coffee by the windows each morning, unwind with wine by the fireplace at night, stargaze from the hot tub, and stroll through the forest to the tune of the wind. But by the end of the second week, peace turns to unease. Mark notices a rustling sound from downstairs late at night. It's just the wind, he says, but Olivia hears it too, and brows furrow. Ryan volunteers. I'll check it out, and heads down. At the bottom of the stylish stairs, he finds a dark hallway and a polished wooden door. Scratched faintly into it is a message. Don't watch me. The next morning, as Emily prepares breakfast, she spots a shadow in the window. A tall, thin silhouette that lingers for a moment before vanishing. She screams, calling the others. But outside, they see only swaying pine branches. The group messages the host, Henry. Weird things are happening. What's with the rule? No reply comes. Signal is spotty in the mountain depths. By the third week, the rustling gives way to whispers. Right outside the door, as if someone's murmuring. Mark says, "We're here for a month. We need to figure this out," and decides to open the door. Olivia mutters, "I've got a bad feeling." But Ryan pries the lock with a fireplace poker. When the door swings open, a cold gust rushes in, making the elegant chandelier chime softly. A narrow staircase descends to a stone-walled basement. Down there, they find a dusty mirror, an old chair, and a faded photo on the wall. 4 young people, 2 couples, smiling, their faces slightly blurred. Handwritten below, they watch too. Looking in the mirror, they see something beside their reflections. A tall, thin silhouette, faceless yet staring. When they step back, the mirror returns to normal. Panicked, the group rushes upstairs, but Emily glances out the window and freezes. The same silhouette stands among the trees, motionless, watching. They try snapping photos with their phones, but the images show only trees. That night, the whispers grow louder, seeping from every corner of the house. Olivia whispers, "It's watching us." The power cuts out. The fireplace's last embers fade to a dull red, leaving only their phone lights. Peering at the windows, they see the silhouette in every pane. Tall, thin, faceless, just watching. Henry's voice seems to echo in their ears. You shouldn't have watched me. Screaming, the couples flee into the forest. Amid the dark pines, the silhouette follows. Not running, but always a few steps behind. Mark stumbles. When the group stops, the silhouette stops too, watching. Ryan hurls a rock, but it vanishes midair. At a ridge with signal, they call the police. Hours later, the cops arrive, but there's no house, no ruin, just an empty clearing. Surrounded by pines, it's a flat, featureless patch. No hot tub, no windows, no fireplace. The police ask, "There's nothing here. Are the coordinates wrong?" Airbnb shows no record of the listing, yet the 5-star reviews remain. Great views, but it felt like something was always watching. Mark, Olivia, Ryan, and Emily stare at each other in disbelief. A month in that house, now seemingly unlived. But Emily insists she saw the silhouette standing among the trees that night. A house that vanished before your eyes. An Airbnb that never existed. And a figure in the woods, always watching. Some places forget, but some never let go. For more paranormal mysteries from Joseph City, like the video, subscribe to the channel.